characters against Murko. Who do you even think he's going to try this week?
That's a good question. I think the Raiden pick didn't work last time. So what we know is that Murko will pretty much only ever use Hellfire against K-Top from what we've seen. K-Top's got a Predator, he's got a Thunder God, and he's got a Dragon's Fire. Now, if you were in his shoes, Glue, which of those characters would you pick to try and counter Hellfire? Or who would you think would do the best at the very least?
Well, I mean, K-Top knows that matchup with Raiden. Just think that when it comes to countering this Scorpion, I think people have to realize that they can't go toe to toe with it. It's an offensive character. We all know from playing fighting games for a long time that you just have to accept that certain characters have strengths, and if one of them is offense, then don't be too afraid, or don't be too, I don't know. I don't think people are going to think less of you by keeping the character at bay and zoning him out, or maybe playing at the back or turtling. I mean, it's a totally valid tactic, but
how do you do that against Hellfire when the main issue we've seen is Murko's reactions with Telepoint have historically been on point? Do you try and bait him? Do you fake him out? What do you do to bait him into not doing that?
When I've played against Murko and when I've played against any Scorpion that's using that variation, is you have to let him come off the aura first. It's one of the best tactics you can do. We've seen him in matchups throw out the aura on Wake Up. We've seen him do that. And one of the things he has to do is you have to let him come off that aura because it's always a threat. And that's where he gets a lot of his offense started from the mid-screen, is he will throw out the aura and he will catch you with it. So if there's anybody watching that's maybe unsure how to fight that character, that's the first step. That let him come off that aura, so he can't use it in offense, he can't use it from pokes, he can't use it as a defensive tool because he's already using it, or he's already come off it, and there's a cooldown on it. So that would be my advice. That's the first place to start, I think.
Okay, so we have K-Top and Murko in the lobby. We're just waiting on you, Mustard, to join the party, and then we should be good to go.
I'm on my way.
These guys have been, I've got to say, nice rapid responses this week. It can be really up in the air, I think, how long players can take to join lobbies. It depends on availability. It depends on how long it takes for them to finish their matches. But I feel like K-Top and Murko, they've done this so often now. They're just really, they're on the money when it comes to joining on time and being nice and available. So I want to give both these guys props for being so easy to deal with when it comes to doing these cups. They've definitely done it enough, I think, to really know what's going on
Murko
by now.
wants to thank the entirety of the Community Cup also for being so easy to deal with. It was a joke, guys. Please don't get offended.
If they get offended, then, it's competitive fighting games, man. It's competition.
But I'm a commentator. I'm not allowed to talk shit.
Oh, it's language, Timothy.
What? Don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry.
You said a swear.
I did say a swear. I'm sorry, anyone that got offended by my swear. I'll try not to do it again.
If the swear made you sad, then for the love of God, don't watch our regular stream. Especially if I'm losing in ranked. Right, so I believe I'm going to do the jump cut. Wah! To our screen. How about that? Nice.
Jump cut? You. Oh, blimey. Now, one thing I want to touch up on, right? And again, I don't mean this to sound like I'm being disrespectful, or I want it to sound like I've got him figured out. But back when Murko played in Season 3 of the Pro League, he had some really good weeks, but he wasn't as dominant there as he is in these Community Cups. Obviously, a big part of it is the competition. Not everyone that enters the Pro League, not all the top players actually enter the Community Cup, so a lot of his consistent top competition isn't here. Not to say that there aren't good players entering, but it's definitely not the same level of what he used to fight, like literally like Foxy Grandpa, Madzin, Krathen, Irish Mantis, like these super top level European players from Season 3. But even back then, Murko would really try and force his turn on you. And what I mean is, he wanted to make you feel like it was always his turn to do something, always his turn to press something. And that's where we see so many normals turned into Flame Aura, so many, seemingly random teleports trying to catch you doing something you shouldn't be doing in the moment. Wake Up teleports where he normally has to hold something and wake up because he cancels it because it's hard to deal with if you're not on point. Murko plays with a lot of disrespect on your option. So a big part of it is, like you said, if you can get the aura out of him and get that life lead, because Murko has this explosive comeback potential, but he needs a lot of bar to do it. If you can make Murko break and force him into those situations, then I would like to think he should be easier to deal with. The question is, will Murko let you do that? Because he seems to be so slippery and hard to pin down. I mean, how do you open someone up that just makes it their life's goal to not get hit?
So, while we wait for this final round to play out, I wanted to give you guys one final little piece of information. These are the ESL EU Sunday Community Cups. Obviously, the top 4 is streamed by Mustard and myself, and we are now more often joined by Use for Glue, who helps us sort of break down the matches afterwards. If you want to take part in the next week's tournament, which we thoroughly recommend, you want to go to play.eslgaming.com/Mortal Kombat. There's CIS and the European region, and on Sunday, the more, the wider-based European tournaments will happen. So we have our grand finals underway, which is going to be K-Top versus Murko. This is a run back of a run back of a run back at this point. These guys have fought a bunch, but this is the first time in about a week or so they've actually fought in grand finals. It's been semi-finals before that. So these guys have fought before. Murko is the one to beat. He has taken 3 Sunday tournaments in a row. He's looking really dominant. He defeated K-Top 3-2 a couple of weeks ago, and last weekend beat him, I believe, 3-0. It was Raiden for 2 matches, and I think Liu Kang for another. But, I mean, it was all Murko there. The momentum was all his. But this week, the question is, can Murko take that 4th tournament in a row?
We'll find out. I think a big part of it's going to boil down to what character K-Top decides to go with. I mean, this is going to be single elimination, 3 out of 5. I mean, it's Thunder God, so K-Top clearly wasn't happy with how this went last time, so he really wants to show us that he can win this set, because he goes back and forth with Murko quite often. The one-sided set we saw last week was not the norm, so I'm sure K-Top doesn't want that to happen again. We'll have to wait and see.
A little bit reluctant to anti-cross up there, kind of letting Murko get that free jump in, and it's kind of risky. It's risky to let him jump in, but it's even more risky almost to try and anti him. Oh no, doesn't have the stamina, but he whiff punishes with the NJP. Now this is the exact start that K-Top needs.
Keeps himself
safe. Oh my god,
wow,
back to back!
That's exactly what I'm expecting to see out of K-Top, though. He has those 2 bars of Vicinity Blast. Again, knows Murko wants to press that button, wants to get the offense going, and K-Top determined to just not let him do it. And there's the aura NJP again. K-Top with a very, very, very convincing round 1.
We're seeing what happens when Murko comes off the aura. K-Top is punishing him when he has it active, so it appears to be working.
I think that definitely looks like an adaptation. We didn't see that last week, whether K-Top was nervous to go for it, or maybe he was just reluctant, maybe a bit nervous to do it. Not the case this week. Murko sitting on his bar, though, and I think that was really meaty. Almost we thought Murko, maybe he's going to try and teleport it. This guy's known for being a little bit reckless, but wow, K-Top just not giving him room to breathe. Catches the jump kick, and that's going to be a full hit confirm. Is he going to restand? He is. He's going to get the run into low. Really nice block from Murko, but K-Top looking really good in this first game, but he gets tagged by the Hellfire.
But the one time he doesn't respect aura, I was actually going to point out the little intricacies that we see K-Top doing, like waiting a little bit longer after something's blocked, seeing the Hellfire isn't coming, and then pressing a button. But the one
wait a minute,
the one time he didn't do that was the time he got tagged by the Hellfire, and that could be the round. But no, K-Top is going to keep himself alive. That would have been a really, really heartbreaking turnaround for him from Murko if he managed to make the comeback. But like I was saying, he did manage to deal with the aura by waiting on block from pokes to see that the aura wasn't coming before moving in. The one time in that entire match that he didn't wait and he just committed to the counter poke, Murko went for the aura and caught him for a full combo.
I find this quite interesting, right? Because when these guys fought last weekend, it was actually the other way around. Right now, it's K-Top reading Murko's almost preemptive advancing, jumping or running or whatever, and K-Top's been tagging him with neutral jump punches or catching him with that sort of max range forward 1 confirm twice or multiple times in that last game. Murko kind of ran into it, and that's exactly what K-Top did last week. Across all 3 games, he was consistently just running headfirst into the Hellfire Aura and just giving Murko that full combo every single time. But it does look like almost like a seesaw effect this time round. And if K-Top can keep that momentum and consistently read how Murko's going to try and get in, we might see a reverse 3-0.
By the way,
totally
guys,
possible.
K-Top didn't get the first hit bonus, but look at his bar. I mean, he's just spent 2, but he's already built another one. He's on the way to another one, but he got tagged. He's got corner pressure. The amount of
That's
meter
Thunder God, my
he's already got a
friend.
second bar on the way. Look at this.
Oh, he's going to get Vicinity Blast. He goes for the stagger. Murko with the challenge, but
He's
another
used
challenge
4.
there.
He's
Ooh.
used 4 Vicinity Blasts already, and we're less than 30 seconds into this round.
Well, look, now they're both out of meter. Look. He's not quite greedy enough. They've both got nothing. As I say that, though, K-Top's definitely going to build a bar on this.
This is
He is going to
insane.
get bar. Yep. It's, I mean, that's going to be the strength of Thunder God, though. It's just... The thing about Thunder God specifically is, I feel like the Vicinity Blast actually buffed Thunder God the most, because he's going to get counter pokes. He's got that mid challenge. He can anti-air with it. He can knock you out. He can knock you if you're trying to...
interactables with it, apparently.
But he's going to have it so frequently because of the meter build. I really like the fact that K-Top has kind of taken the patch and really just embraced what it can do for Thunder God, which is clearly K-Top's favorite variation. He's going to get the knockdown, run cancel, and he gets the neutral jump. It's going to make the teleport whiff. Now, hang on 1 minute. K-Top absolutely dominating Murko right now.
Definitely. I mean, this is a night and day turnaround from what we saw from him last week. Murko is going to get the restand, though. I mean, this is Hellfire. Aura's ran out, but he has got explosive damage potential. There's the
He's going to
stagger.
get one grab. I mean, that's the strength of Hellfire. He's going to get over half damage on one touch, you know, especially if he spends a bar. Ooh, almost back dashes, but he goes for the Hellfire. K-Top's going to cash out. He's probably going to kill on that, and that's going to be 2 games to nothing.
And that was down to Murko just trying to do it meatless Hellfire in a range that it wasn't going to work. I think Murko's getting a little bit flustered. It seems
I
like
would be too.
It seems like K-Top's done a really good job adjusting to what Murko has been doing to him for weeks and weeks and weeks. And Murko now has 1 game left to adjust back. It's going to be
how
difficult.
about that? I mean, Murko is our current champion. This guy has won 3 tournaments in a row. He's looking to try and make it 4. Winning an entire month's worth of Sunday Cups would be incredible for a player. And especially someone like Murko. This guy is new blood when it comes to Mortal Kombat X. As I said, you know, these guys have both participated in the Pro League in the past. They've shown us that they're good. They've shown us they know how to play. But K-Top, I think right now, looking to tell Murko that, you know, if you want to get through this 4th tournament in a row, then I am your final boss. You know, I am the final person you've got to take out. And it's not going to be easy.
There's the wake-up teleport. We see Murko do that all the time. Confirmed it.
No,
Drops the combo.
big drop.
Very uncharacteristic from him as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's very rare of Murko to drop such a simple conversion.
Oh, wow.
Wow, big trade. Oh, no, another punish. I mean, this is Thunder God. He's got that 6 or 7 frame forward 1. That's going to have no trouble punishing that Hellfire Aura basically anywhere.
It's actually exactly like Blue said would happen. This is boiling down to K-Top is just... He's beating him for doing Aura. That's really what it's boiling down to. He's seeing him do it, and that's a full combo confirm off the low as well. Nice stuff from K-Top. Not game-winning damage, but tournament point already. Wow, this is fast.
I mean, this is... on the anti-air forward 1, K-Top is unbelievably on point tonight. Murko's going to challenge it with the takedown, but... I mean, this is actually every single match we've seen of K-Top. Oh, a nice read on the neutral jump punch. He is just not letting Murko do anything. He's going to get that 2-1-4 into corner carry. He makes the forward 4 whiff. Doesn't quite get it, but this sequence could take the whole tournament in a convincing 3-0, forcing the break.
That's the low, though. Oh, there's the block on the overhead, but Murko had a feeling he knew he'd block it. Didn't confirm into anything punishable.
This is unbelievable. Doesn't commit into the teleport. Wow, K-Top gets hit. He's going to run in, try and stagger that forward 1 pressure, and he gets the counter poke. The anti-Vicinity Blast is going to do it, and K-Top taking this tournament 3-0, denying the entire month victory for Murko, leaving that tournament streak at 3 wins. And K-Top, the new king of the hill, as you could say.
No, really well played.
Good.
I mean, again, like he's clearly done his homework. He didn't want Murko to beat him again. Murko has definitely been his demon for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to this point. So a really good win for him, I think. Really strong demonstration of how good Vicinity Blast can be. Good meter management, using it for the reversals at the right time, making sure his anti-airs were on point, not being flustered, doing a good job of just maintaining that neutral game, and also punishing everything that can be punished. So props to K-Top. Very well done. Commiserations to Murko, so close to winning 4 in a row, but obviously had an amazing streak up until this point. I have no doubt we'll see Murko again in the future. But
that was insane.
Good stuff.
That was definitely an insane display of Thunder God right there. I think, I'm going to be honest, Glue, you were pretty much on the money. You said, if K-Top wants to win this, he's going to have to start addressing the Hellfire, because it caused him such misery last week, and that is the key to this matchup. And I don't even think it was the Hellfire Aura, right? It was everything else. Now, what do you think the adjustment was from what we saw this week compared to last?
Well, the 2 things I mentioned, I don't want to do that whole thing where well, you already said that I was right, which is good. But
You still wouldn't be the one to say it, right?
but you guys said it. But I called it. I called two things. I said that the issue is that Raiden has that vicinity blast armored move that you have to let him come off that, right? You've got to block that. You've got to bait it. You've got to let him come off that. Unfortunately,
It's like his Hellfire, right? You have to treat it as his Flame Aura.
Unfortunately, he builds the meter real fast, and I think it's actually a little issue with the game that I would personally have. I don't like that such a strong move is so easy to build in the game. You know what I mean? You build it for taking damage, you build for chip damage, and he does a lot of chip. The other thing is that the aura, that's the first thing. That's the first thing you got to do to beat a Hellfire is you got to make sure that when he's got the aura ready to go, you have to respect it because you can't counter poke, you can't jump in, you can't rush in. It's a great all-purpose move. It can even work as a raw wake-up, which he's done before. And the fact now that he baited it out, he punished it on block, he just let him do it, and he won the set. And then obviously Murko didn't have good answers and didn't bait out the armored move from Ray. Same way that K-Top baited out the aura, the flame aura. It basically came down to those two things.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is as well, like just when the guys play each other, when it's a dominant set, they pretty much just do the same thing to one another. It's like, it's reading the neutral, it's going, you know what? I'm just gonna... So, for Murko, it's, I'm gonna Hellfire Aura you, because I think you're gonna come in. And with K-Top,
also, shout-outs to K-Top in chat saying... What was it? Yeah. There's a reason
there is a
why
reason
I'm
called K-Top. Yeah, I saw that as well. I was
Oh,
like,
amazing.
what? I mean, is that like an unofficial winner statement from K-Top? There is a reason they call me K-Top. Bum bum bum. That was sick though. That was good. A really nice display. Kind of sad for Murko that he didn't get that 4th win in a row. I think that would have been really nice for him to sort of start that little era of dominance to show everyone that he is the most dominant player. But I think that right now there's definitely room for 2 top players in this Community Cup. And that does actually, funnily enough, that brings it to 3 Community Cup wins for Murko and 3 Community Cup wins for K-Top. So the guys have won 3 each. So now, I feel like next week or the week after is going to come down to who's actually going to get that 4th win. You know, who's going to... They're now even. They're even on that podium, aren't they? You know, they're equal there. And the story's going to be who can get one up again. You know, who wants to become the new best? Or is there going to be a player that comes in? Bear in mind, guys, these tournaments are free to enter, and they take place every Sunday. And the top 4 will almost always be streamed by Mustard and myself, with the assistance of Use for Glue on the Sunday night. You know, so if you guys want to take part, I want to give you guys the info once again. You want to go to play.eslgaming.com/Mortal Kombat, and this is the EU ESL Sunday Community Cup. You can enter it really easily. I heard that plate, Mustard. What are you doing? I heard that.
Putting
I've
a
got
plate on the
supersonic
floor.
hearing. But it's very easy to enter these tournaments now. You've got the ESL app on PlayStation 4, which just makes life a lot easier for entering these broadcasts. But I mean, yeah, interesting result this week. Really glad with the outcome. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap this up?
No, if anything, I just want to say that K-Top played really well, and I think in the last 2 games of that set, he showed some real fundamental aspects to his game that I never knew he actually had. I thought he was just a rush-down, crazy guy that he just does what he wants. But he showed that whenever he slowed it down, he has some real solid fundamental play. So he an outright deserved winner. Congratulations to him.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that for sure. Final little statement, guys. Unfortunately, next week's Community Cup will not be broadcast. Mustard and myself will be at the Insomnia LAN Festival. It's basically just a holiday for us. To sort of at the end of the year, if you know what I mean. Like, it's been a long year for us. We're going to be at LAN, catching up with friends that we don't see very often, and the only time we get to see them is at LAN, you know. So we will be chatting with those guys and catching up and not broadcasting, basically, for the first time in like forever. We're actually going to have a break. So next week will not be broadcast, but the week after that, I believe, will be business as usual. So just want to quickly let you guys know that we will not be streaming next week, but we will be the week after. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to sign off personally, but I'll let Mustard give his final words in before we're done.
I've got nothing to add. You've nailed it.
Oh, brilliant. Well, how about that? Thank you very much for watching, guys. I want to say at the very end as well, thank you, Madzin, for giving us a host at the end of the night. Sorry we couldn't see you in this top 4, mate. I know you were supposed to play, but due to an emergency, you were unable to play against K-Top. Would have really liked to have seen that match, but there's always going to be next time. There's always going to be a next time, isn't there? So thanks for watching, guys. You've been awesome as always. I've been Ketchup, joined by Mustard and Useful Glue, and this has been the EU ESL MKXL Community Cup. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.